It's our most important objective to produce cheese specialties in harmony with nature to achieve highest quality. Every year, when the first spring flowers blossom in the valley and the snow crawls back up the peaks of the mountains, it is time again to bring the cows to the mountain pastures. The cows of the Zillertal farmers enjoy a special feeding. For the winter feeding, the grass from the mountain pastures is dried and the hay stocked in the barns. In the shop of our dairy, cheese enthusiasts find a big variety of cheeses. Racy hard cheese, mild fine sliced cheese, traditional grey cheese of the Zillertal Valley. You will find cheeses for every taste. The Zillertal Valley. For many people, this is the incarnation of wonderful natural landscapes with lush meadows and alpine huts with rustic flavor, cultivated and maintained by the sustainable farming methods of the mountain peasants. In summer, you find the cows on the meadows of the high Zillertal mountain pastures, where they enjoy a rich choice of tasty grasses and herbs. In winter, the cows are exclusively fed with hay and coarsely ground cereals. This natural feeding, rich in minerals during the whole year, guarantees highest quality and perfect ingredients for that extraordinary milk. Fresh air, pure spring water, and the lush and rich alpine meadows with more than 100 different grasses and herbs are the essential basis for the production of the extraordinary butter and cheese specialties with their distinctively natural and tasty flavor. It is scientifically proved that milk from cows which graze on the rich meadows and pastures of the mountains in summer and which during winter are fed with sun-dried hay and coarsely ground cereals contains a significantly higher level of omega-3 fatty acids, which highly contribute to the prevention of cardiovascular diseases. The Zillertal Valley in the heart of the Tyrol is well known for its unique nature, the blossoming meadows, the murmuring creeks, and the local specialties cooked in the numerous mountain huts. It's the untouched pastures, the tasty alpine herbs and the lush meadows on which the cows graze in summer that form the basis for purely natural hay milk, butter and cheese specialties. Philosophy behind hay milk. That's the traditional manufacturing of high-quality silage-free products without any genetic engineering. The cows are exclusively fed naturally. That's why the Zillertal Alpine Dairy uses exclusively GM and silage-free pure milk of the Zillertal Alpine farmers. The farmers of the Zillertal Valley, who keep their cattle only with grass and hay without any silage, are taking special care of the ecological sustainability of their unique mountain landscape. With traditional care, they produce the valuable hay milk, which is then daily delivered to the Heumilch dairy of Fün. The driver of the milk tank has to start very early in the morning to bring the milk to the dairy. A sample of milk is automatically taken at every farmer to control the quality of the milk. In the dairy, the milk is immediately pumped into cheese kettles, each of them with a capacity of 12,000 liters to start the production of the various cheeses. During the filling of the cheese kettle, lactobacillus is added to determine the taste and the ripening of the cheese. When milk is ready in the kettle, rennet is added, a mix of the enzymes chymosin and pepsin. This is important in order to thicken the milk. It is extracted from the abomasum of young calves. Within 30 minutes, the milk in the kettle will coagulate and a kind of jelly mass comes into being. Even today, the ideal moment to cut is fixed manually by the dairy master. When the right moment has come, the curd is cut by the harp and the whey is separated from the solid elements. Cheese production has a long tradition. Already the Sumerians, about 5,000 years before Christ, then the Greeks and also the Romans produced cheese from the milk of cows. In those days, the milk was simply poured into the abomasum of calves, which started the thickening of the milk. Over the centuries, this method of production was continuously improved. Today, we have a variety of about 2,000 cheeses. Then this mass is heated up to the necessary temperature, between 35 and 62 degrees, depending from the variety of cheese. The moment has come. The mix of solid material and whey is pumped into different cheese presses and molds. The whey is now separated from the solid material. The solid material is now pressed and left in the cheese press between 6 and 24 hours, depending on the type of cheese. The cheese from the day before is then taken out of the cheese press. Every batch is supplied with a number and production date in order to guarantee and prove its local origin. The next stage of production is the salt bath. It gives the cheese the necessary consistency, durability and its special taste. Fresh milk from the farms in the Zillertal Valley is the basis for our fresh butter. butter is spreadable fat produced by the cream from cow's milk. It consists of a minimum of 82% of milk fat. On the one hand, it gets its creamy and fresh taste from the local grass and hay. On the other hand, from selected cheese cultures and its especially careful production process. Our grey cheese, traditionally handmade and a very particular specialty. For the production of grey cheese, low-fat milk is soured with lactobacillus. On the next day, the sickened milk is stirred by hand and the manager of production carefully heats the mass up to 50 degrees Celsius. This curdled milk is mixed with salt and filled into wooden molds. To separate the whey from the curdled milk, a board is placed on top of it and weighed with a heavy stone. Grey cheese is the very best we have. Ripened for 10 weeks. Well done. Now let's cut it up. After the salt bath, the cheese is stored in our cheese cellar, where it is taken care of until it is ready to be sold. All our products are regularly controlled by the manager of production to guarantee their highest quality. We do not drill holes in the cheese. We withdraw a sample to taste it. Only after careful control the cheese is released for sale. In the middle of September, when weather is getting colder and the wind makes the snow dance around the tops of the mountains, the cows, magnificently decorated with flowers and pictures of saints, return back to their home barns, ringing their bells loudly. Down in the village, they are already eagerly expected by crowds of locals and guests from abroad.